Gingrich giving advice to Wall Street banks, notably Credit Suisse, and we have Brody Mullins on the phone from South Carolina who's going to tell us about this. This is not an illegal activity, but it does raise some questions, Brody. What exactly did Newt Gingrich do?
Yeah, well, it looks like for about a year, Newt Gingrich, mainly through his Center for Health Transformation consultancy, did some work for Credit Suisse in New York, where some of his top aides who were in touch with folks in Capitol Hill basically gave Credit Suisse and its investors and analysts advice on and opinions about where public policy changes in healthcare or ways in which public policy changes in healthcare could affect stock markets.
Okay, and the people that signed up for this, they paid as much as $200,000, according to your story, and there were dozens of these companies who paid that much. Now, Credit Suisse had the added benefit and advantage of Mr. Gingrich insights and connections to gain an edge on analysis. One of the things on June the 1st, Credit Suisse issued a report predicting something, and that made a difference to the stock market. Tell us about that. This is a bit tricky, and I want you to simplify it.
Yeah, well, it was pretty interesting. What they had is this May 26th, they had a meeting in D.C. that Mr. Gingrich's group set up, in which they got a couple Capitol Hill staffers from some key healthcare committees, and the Republican staffers came over to Gingrich's offices, and they sat down with Credit Suisse stock analysts, who basically asked them, what is your prediction on how this change will affect this industry, and how will the states implement this part of Obama's bill, and things like that, which then Credit Suisse took the information, went back to New York, analyzed it, and was able to put out sort of stock reports on various managed care companies.
And notably, they raised the target price on the shares of United Health Group to $62 per share, up from $60. Might not seem like a lot. The stock was then trading in the low 50s, and it closed Thursday at almost $53 a share. Are we pointing to Credit Suisse's analysis as the reason for that rise in the stock, or is that just coincidental?
Well, in the analyst report that Credit Suisse put out after that conference with the Capitol Hill staffers, it was set up by Gingrich's group, they said as a result of this conference, we now feel that we should increase their target price on some of the managed care companies. So I don't think that it was the only piece of information. I mean, folks on Wall Street, as you know, are constantly analyzing every twist and turn in the market and government policy and various things overseas that could affect stocks. So this wasn't the only thing, but in their report to its clients, they said, based on this conference, we're more confident in this industry getting benefiting. Now,
there's nothing wrong with Wall Street analysts doing analysis like this. This is completely above board. It seems, certainly the way that the story has been told here, this is nothing illicit about this. What is the question on the Newt Gingrich side? Why might that be in question?
You're exactly right here. I mean, this stuff happens all the time. This is part of Wall Street doing its job. There's nothing new in that whatsoever. What is new is that we didn't know that this was part of what Newt Gingrich did and his healthcare consultancy did to make money. So as Newt Gingrich is out here pounding on Mitt Romney for Bain Capital and for making tons of money on Wall Street, Newt Gingrich himself had a very small piece of that pie also.
I mean, I guess the difference that some people would point to, Brody, is that Newt Gingrich isn't known for firing tons of people.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, Newt Gingrich's firm was simply giving advice to Wall Street. They weren't involved in buying companies, selling companies, laying employees off. So that is a huge difference.
How do you think this plays with the voters in South Carolina? Do you think the association with Wall Street and big business is enough for that to be, a negative, or is it going to be seen as completely different because it wasn't the closing of factories with blue collar workers having their jobs shipped overseas?
That's a good question. It's very early, and it's hard to tell what will happen. There's certainly, as we just discussed, a big difference between what Gingrich did and what Romney did. At the very least, though, I think this will muddy Gingrich's argument a little bit. You know, if he's made some money from these Wall Street firms or from this one Wall Street firm, it may be more difficult for him to attack the money that Romney made at his firm.